Hello everyone, welcome back to Classic Automotive Services. Right, I hope everyone had a good Christmas and a Happy New Year. No one had this horrible flu type virus thing that's been going around, like I did unfortunately over the last few days. But there's a lot of it going around, but we're back now and back to it. So we have actually been coming in between Christmas and New Year and doing a bit. Not a great deal, as I'm trying to spend time with family and things like that. But what we have got done is we've got the front panel changed on TR8. So I'll show you the reason why we changed it in a minute. I'll go get the old one as it's in quite a state. One thing that we didn't really account for on this car was the state of the front panel. The rot that was in it didn't really tally up to the rest of the car. The front panel was far worse than the rest of the car. The rest of the car had little bits here and there, but yeah, we're not quite sure why the front panel is or was quite as bad as it is. But we've got that changed. This is actually a panel off of another car, which was a good panel, which was saved, and it was then acid dipped and primed like the shell was. So it's a good, genuine panel. It did have to have one or two minor repairs to it, mainly where, like inside here, inside the headlights, where it mounts to the inner structure. I had to remake one of the mounting brackets. It's not a mounting bracket, it's part of the structure of the panel, which then welds to the next panel. So I had to repair that. A little bit of straightening up to do, a couple of little odds and ends on it. Now I've got that bolted on because it bolts on at the wings. So we bolted it on and initially put a couple of screws in where it spot welds on each side, and then got the bonnet on and got it actually lined up. So it's got all good gaps and everything around it, because at that point it's the time to, you can alter it slightly if it's a couple of mil out here and there to get a nice even gap around it. The way you start is get it so it's parallel to the front panel, and then obviously the wings original haven't been off. So if it's tight at the top and big at the bottom, or vice versa on the other side, you know you've got it slightly crooked. So we got it all set up and where it needed to be, and got it welded on and cleaned off, and that's pretty much the last major bit on this shell. I've still got one or two minor little bits. I've got a little tiny bit on this shell to do, which I haven't got around to yet. It's a hole about the size of your little finger now, which I've got to sort out. But other than that, it's pretty much there. And we've got most of that side prepped, ready for primer. There's a little bit of bodywork left on that side. And then it's, a case of just going through the prep stages on it. Right, here's the panel we got with the original panel we took off of this. So the reason that we're changing it is quite obvious. All this rot along the front, which that bit itself isn't too hard to repair. But the other reason we're changing it is all the actual framework and structure, all the that panel there where the hinges all mount to it's all completely and utterly rotten. So that is why we made the choice to actually change it. As if you look at this side, you can see it's just full of holes all along here. So like I said earlier, we really was not expecting this panel to be as rotten as it was. We weren't really expecting this panel to be rotten at all, from how good it looked when it was in one piece. It's one of them things. Again, the rot doesn't really tally up with the rest of the car. We have our ideas about why, but we're not going to go saying, because it might upset some people. But that is why we actually had to change that panel. It's actually come out quite well. So that's that. We'll put this back over here in the scrap pile and move on. The Cortina, I did speak to the machine shop as soon as they opened on, what day was that? Thursday, which I'm sure they loved, because I want the engine back at the end of the day. So, and they said give them till Monday, which is tomorrow, to sort of like work out where they are and everything's, get back into the swing of things, and we'll go from there. So, yep, Monday, tomorrow, I will be phoning them up again, as they've had it long enough now, and now it's time to, enough's enough, I need it back, basically, because the owner of the car wants it back, which I don't blame him, as well, it wasn't supposed to have having a full engine rebuild. It was only supposed to be coming in to get up and running and get running right, so he could use it. It turns out the engine was completely and utterly knackered, which why it wouldn't run properly. So that's we're up to on them. This year we've got some hopefully interesting projects planned. One of which is one of my own. I'm hopefully going to be able to put that in the mix. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but that when I've got finalised getting all the parts and everything sorted out for it that I want and got it sort of planned, then we'll sort of like go from there and put that in the mix as well. Obviously we've got the Blue 7, which we will be cracking on with probably next month or so. The 8 is the ongoing project, and the eagle-eyed among you may notice the red stag's not here. And no, that's not because it's gone back to the customer. That's because I've got a queue of cars waiting to come in, and I haven't actually got time to get on it myself and get all the metalwork sorted out. So I've sent that off to my dad, who he's going to do all the metalwork on it for me. As well, he trained me, and we worked together when he had his company around here. So I more than trust him to get on with that and get the metalwork sorted out on it, and that'll come back ready for me to prep and paint and sort of get it all built up for the customer. So because I have, like I said, I have got a queue of cars waiting to come in. We've got some cars very interesting. One of which I've never actually seen before. That's hopefully coming in after the Cortina's gone. Another one which is hopefully going to be not too long of a project. It's more of a recommission because it's been off the road a number of years. That's coming in towards the end of January, 21st, I think that's coming in. I'll have to double check on that one. So that's more of a recommission and get up and running. But again, it's quite a rare car. Not many of them around. So that's another interesting car to keep an eye out for. So yeah, we're very, very busy, which is odd for this time of year in this trade. Usually it quietens off, but it hasn't. So I think that's what we've got on the project. Oh, we'll show you the SR20 engine. Now it's had a bit more done to it because my brother-in-law came in and bought a few more bits over, and we got a lot of it assembled, so it's pretty much a complete engine now, including the turbo, which we said was a monstrous turbo. So we'll quickly get that out and show you that. All right, here we got my brother-in-law's drift engine for his S14 Silvia. Like we said, enormous turbo. And if you haven't seen the video that this was in, we didn't really do a build video on it. We just done just a little bit of information about it. I recommend go back and watch it. The spec that, well, the power that he aimed to run, we both now think is very, very conservative. With it to make considerably more than what he thought, especially with this monstrosity bolted to it. We reckon by the time it's mapped and all set up, it's going to be a safe sort of 500 to 550 horsepower. But the bottom end of the engine, like we said before, that is more than capable of doing 800 to 900 horsepower with ease, with the parts that are in it anyway. So that is it. It looks really, really quite spectacular. He's made a lot of custom bits himself. He's made all the little collars for the cam cover, all these little aluminium cam caps. He's made the spacers for the coil pack cover, which has two benefits. One, it helps keep your coil packs cooler because it causes an air gap. It doesn't seal the heat in, which is one of the biggest things that kills coil packs. And two, you have to raise this up with these coil packs that he's running because they're basically Audi R8 coil packs. So he's got 4 of them in there. I think it's 4-inch downpipe on the exhaust, and I mean even the wastegate and screen pipe. Well, everyone knows them as a screamer pipe. That is bigger than a lot of cars in here exhaust-wise have, and that's the wastegate. So it's going to make some serious power. I hope he's happy with it because it has turned out very nicely. It's got a little bit of condensation on it. There we go. So yeah, I think he's pleased with it. He's done a lot of it himself, which he likes doing as well. So yeah, it would be very, very nice to see this in the car and running. Which, when it is in the car and running, hopefully we'll be going over to see it as well and see it on the dyno. So hopefully we'll be able to get a bit of video footage of it running on the dyno, which will be very, very interesting. It'll be an interesting day out. The car, it's not too far off having the engine back in it. It needs a bit of welding doing to it and odds and ends doing, and then it can pretty much be bolted together. He's not too fussed about having it painted at the moment until it's up and running, I think. So yeah, but very, very nice, compact, high horsepower unit, that. So it's not something that we usually do daily, but again, it's not really out of our comfort zone to build an engine like this. So an engine is an engine. To me, it doesn't matter if they're a Ferrari engine or a Morris Minor engine. They all get the same treatment and built to the same level. And that's not saying I'll mess the Ferrari engine up. That's saying that I'll build the Morris Minor engine to the same quality as a Ferrari engine. So yeah, that's that. So one thing that we are thinking about doing as well, if any of you guys are interested in, is a question and answers sort of video. So if you guys have got any queries or questions or issues with your cars, then, and you'd be interested in doing that, then please put it in the comments and let us know. If you do, then next week we'll ask you to actually write your questions, and see if we can get enough of them together. We'll do a question and answers video and try and help you guys out if any of you are stuck on an issue, you can't work it out. We'll try our best to also either maybe fix it or at least shed some new light on the issue, as it is kind of a bit hard to diagnose issues when you're not actually there. But you know, some new ideas maybe even to help you out. So yeah, if you're interested in doing a question and answer session, please put in the comments if you want to do that or not, and hopefully we get enough of you together to do it. So on that note, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.